Season 3 of Bridgerton is nearly upon us, and I want a new dress. However, have I planned this dress? No. Do I have material to make this dress? Possibly. Am I flying by the seat of my pants? Absolutely. Let's get started. All right, so I have a pattern from Mood. So it was a free pattern. I need to get it all cut out. I have it all taped together. It is the Mood Bridgerton dress. I did not cut out or print out the skirt pieces because I think I'm just gonna do panels and go from there, because it's like these are like, I think they're like supposed to be like lining underskirt, I guess, maybe so you don't need to wear a chemise, but or a petticoat, but I'm going to. So, and this is the skirt right down here. You can see it's just straight lines. So that is what I'm going to do. So I cut out the bodice pieces, the sleeve lining, and the sleeve, and that's where we're going to start. Now, as far as fabrics go, I want to make this, of course, with only SAS fabric and not spend any money on it. Now, I have this tulle that has some embroidery on it. It's pretty. I like it. However, it's not quite enough. It's not going to be enough to do the whole dress because the sleeves are massive and the skirt takes a lot of material. So I'm thinking maybe I will use this to make kind of like an open robe or a sleeveless spencer that has a train that's longer to go over the dress. That is my plan. That's what I'm thinking, because there's definitely not enough of this. Even though it seems like a lot, there is a lot of me. So we have a lot of real estate to cover. So this I'm going to figure out, and I might just hack the bodice pattern to make a spencer. So we'll see. And then as far as the main dress fabric, I don't really have enough of anything in my stash that will A, go with this, and B, that I have enough of. The only thing I have enough of is this, which is a stretch satin of some sort. It's not billowy thin, right? It's not like a nice light silk or even a taffeta. It's got weight to it. However, it doesn't have the same greens, but I think with this layered on top, I think it will look pretty. The only thing that wouldn't be covered, it wouldn't be completely covered by the tulle, of course, because I don't have enough fabric to do that. The sleeves wouldn't be, but I think it could work. So let's start this. Hercules was on hand for pattern cutting supervision. cut out my bodice pieces in the satin fabric and cotton lining fabric. To start assembling the bodice, I pinned the darts on the front bodice and back pieces. To the machine to sew the darts. I repeated these steps for the bodice lining. I pinned and sewed the side seams and shoulder seams on the lining. This pattern is very simple and pretty quick to put together. After ironing the darts open, I pinned and sewed the bodice front and backs. Next, I ran gathering stitches on my 2 full-width skirt panels. Then I pinned and sewed the skirt front panel and back panel at the side seams. I used the selvage for those, so I didn't sew them with French seams as recommended in the pattern. Now to gather the skirt to the bodice. I marked the center front on the skirt and bodice and pinned the skirt and bodice together at that mark and at the side seams and center back. Then I gathered the skirt to fit the bodice. Back to the machine to sew the skirt and bodice together. Mail break! I'm directing and costuming a production of Into the Woods this summer, and I ordered some fabric for the stepsisters' dresses. They will be gloriously garish. I wanted to use taffeta for both, but I couldn't find the purple color I wanted in taffeta, and in fact I think I'm still on the lookout for the right color, because it's supposed to be mauve, and mauve is a hard color to find sometimes. Back to my dress. Sleeve time. I sewed the sleeve seams with a French seam. The sleeve heads are gathered. bottom of the sleeves are gathered as well. I deviated from the pattern here. It was supposed to have kind of double sleeve puffs, but I didn't like that, so I cut the sleeves a bit shorter and just did one set of gathering stitches. I had a little of this trim, so I added it to the top of the gathers, covering the pinked edges of the sleeves. The sleeves went in well, and I adjusted the gathers to fit the arm size. No sleeveless today. I got to work on the overdress thing. I used the bodice back pattern and the arm side of the front bodice pattern to Frankenstein something for this overdress. Honestly, there wasn't much rhyme or reason to this. I cut panels of the tulle for the front and cut out the arm side to match the back bodice. The rest of the panel I used for the back bodice was gathered to the back waistline. I bound the back neckline with a scrap of satin. I did the same for the arm size. The fronts are just rectangles. I gathered the tops to fit the shoulder of the back piece. I also gathered the tulle along the waistline and sewed a ribbon around the waistline to use for a closure. This part was fairly chaotic. The final steps for the dress were baglining the bodice, hemming, and figuring out closures. I considered a zipper, but I didn't have a good color. I was not in the mood for buttonholes, so I used ribbon to tie it closed in the back. I may go back and change that closure, but for now it's functional. I'm quite happy and fairly impressed with the end result of this unplanned, impromptu project. The pattern from Mood was easy to follow and pretty uncomplicated. I really love the sheen of this satin, and I really love the color. What about you? Have you made this pattern? Are you excited for Bridgerton Season 3? Do you have any Regency plans of your own? Let me know in the comments. Huge thanks to my monthly supporters. You're awesome. The tulle overdress is okay. The arm size stretched out a bit while I was finagling the binding, but it's not too terrible. I think it looks nice over the dress. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on our next sewing adventure. Bye!